God provides, but not always in the way that we expect it. Hello, happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Rosaries with Father Pat. August 3rd, 2025. Welcome back, everyone. Yes, today is going to be a beautiful Sunday, a wonderful day ahead. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting outside and enjoying it. A beautiful day that God has made, and I will truly rejoice. Today, one of the better known Gospels, Matthew 14. Okay? And this is, again, ordinary time where Christ is getting quite a reputation as being a healer. And he's in front of a large crowd, healing, preaching the good word of his Father, and giving us what we need to know for eternal salvation. Truly, truly a beautiful day. And then as the day starts to run to a close, basically the apostles said, well, let's send these people away. They've been standing out there all day long, no food or water, paying perfect attention. Let them get something to eat and drink. And Christ basically, now let's see what we got here. And of course, the few fish and loaves that they were able to find, Christ blessed, and everybody had more than enough to eat, and a dozen baskets left over. Quite a feat at the time. And it almost reminds me of a little joke. There is a deli in New York City that names sandwiches after famous people. And there are some people that take lightly that a football player, Tim Tebow, is very concerned about his faith. He is truly a man of faith. So somebody came up with an idea for a joke, and it was on one of those late night talk show hosts. They came up with a Tim Tebow sandwich. 2 pieces of bread, 3 pieces of fish, feeds 5,000. I like it. It is unfortunate, though, that some people are deeply concerned by his faith. It might trigger some people, might upset some people. He was put on the front graphic on a football video game, and they edited his image. Underneath his eyes, on that grease paint, was John 3:16. And he did a truly wonderful thing. He said, I'm going to use this chance to profess my faith. And got a whole bunch of people out there looking up John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he sent his only Son, though he who believeth in him shall never die. But the company producing the video game had to edit out the John 3:16. It might offend some people. Well, good. I want to offend some people with my faith. And he should too. But Christ, on that day, fed the masses. And they all were satisfied. They all had plenty to eat. But did Christ give them figs and the food that the wealthy people had at the time? Fine wines? No, he took what some people had and made sure that there was enough to go around. And I think there are some people that need to truly appreciate what God provides for us. Now, he may not give us exactly what we ask for, but he does give. Does he give all of us a big, beautiful mansion to live in? No. But the majority of us, a small home, an apartment, we have a place to stay. Do we go out to fancy restaurants all the time? Have all these foods that the rich people have? Do we go to restaurants named Nobu or Hell's Kitchen or any of these other fancy places that we see? No. But we do have food to eat at night. There's food in our refrigerators, enough for us and our families, and we go to sleep satisfied. Okay? Do we need to go out to expensive restaurants all the time? No. Personally, I'm overjoyed the opportunities I get to go to the local diner. It's a nice change of pace. It's fun for me. And it's what I need. It's what I want. Okay. The expensive places don't need it. And you know, I see on some videos on social media people that should be a little more grateful for what has been provided in their lives. I see this married couple. The husband has been saving up for a long time, and they pull into a driveway, into a house, and the wife asks, "Why are we here?" And the husband says, "This is our home. I got the mortgage. I purchased the house." Instead of being overjoyed, like in other videos that I've seen, she was like, "Well, I don't want this house. I want something bigger. I want something more expensive." No. They have a home, which is more than a lot of people have. A lot of people still rent these days. A lot of people still live with family members. But the home was not enough for her. I've seen a couple situations where some teenagers, on the day of their 17th birthday, they start driving. And what happens? The parents give them a car. Now, I've seen one video where the parents buy something used, maybe a little scratches and dings, but definitely in good condition and definitely enough to last her a few years. She was overjoyed. I watched another teenage girl, get a brand new BMW for her birthday. A brand new black BMW. She wanted white. And she began screaming at her parents, cursing them, and throwing a tantrum the likes of which I have never seen, because she didn't get exactly what she wanted. She got an expensive car, but it was not perfect, not what exactly she wanted. Christ provides. God provides. Think about Moses going through the desert. What did God provide Moses and those that escaped bondage in Egypt? They had food. Was it the food they were expecting? When Christ gave them manna from heaven, they looked at it and they were like, "What is this?" And they discovered it was edible. Was it the food that they wanted? Was it the bread that they wanted? No. But was it what they needed to stay fed, satisfied, and healthy? Yes, it was. So what was given to them was what they needed. Maybe not exactly what they wanted, but what they needed. Okay? So think about what you have in your lives. Do you necessarily have the best of everything? No, but do you have good of everything? Some people, even when they look at their spouse, um, or a potential spouse, is what they have before them good enough? There are some surveys that if you had a list of what some people wanted for a spouse, if you had 80, 90% of what was on your list, would that be enough? For most of us, yes. Especially if we get the important stuff. Person of faith, someone who loves you dearly for who you are, someone that is concerned with things other than monetary wealth. Of course, there are some people, 80, 90% of what's on their list is still not good enough. And there are some people that even after a few years of marriage, they want to get divorced because the person they are married to is just not enough. You wanted perfect. You thought you were going to change the person. And yet, I see some of these videos that one partner says of their husband or wife, they never cheated. They were a good parent, good provider, worked hard, kind, but it just wasn't enough. And then they decide to go out after ending their marriage and try to find better. They won't. They don't. So look at what you had. Was it enough? It probably was. Probably more than enough. So some people, there are people in this world that would love a decent set of clothes, a good pair of shoes for their feet, maybe a jacket for when it gets cold. They would be thankful just for that. Unfortunately, I have to say that when I was a teacher, I found students that were not grateful for what was provided for them. Growing up, and even as an adult, I have my dress shoes, I've got my sneakers, and I even have a pair of sandals for warmer weather. What more do I need? It's more than enough. But some young people, half a dozen pair of sneakers, $150 each, probably more. I've been out of teaching for a while now. And what about the designer clothes? Me, I'm happy to go to the local Walmart. I can get my shoes there. I can get my casual clothes and my dress clothes. Don't need a fancy label. Don't need to impress other people. Although I'll be honest, got a little confession. There are some people that are impressed with who I am. And I'm grateful for that. They're impressed because, they like kindness. They like caring. They like compassion. Okay, I try to be that kind of person. If I'm going to impress a person, how about doing it with what's in here? Again, my students, well, oh my gosh, they're working part-time jobs. They're working so hard. Yeah, because they got to buy the expensive clothes and for the ladies the makeup and all the other stuff to impress their friends and every other person they walk down the hallway with. You don't need it. Understand that, okay, you want to work all the day, all the nights during the week, let your grades drop, lose opportunities because you just don't have good grades? No. Should you be satisfied with a decent set of clothes, shoes, a warm jacket for the winter? Yes. And as a matter of fact, some of us grew up with something called, wait for it, hand-me-downs. I got all the stuff my older brother grew out of. Oh boy, didn't particularly care for some of the stuff, but I had things to wear, and that's enough. So, all of you, be thankful for all that God has given you, with all that Christ has taught you. Be thankful for what was given. Be thankful that you go to sleep tonight with a roof over your head, having had food to eat and clothes to wear. God has provided. Christ has provided. And be thankful. Do you need the most expensive in the world? No. Do you need to live in luxury? No. Be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for what God has provided. So for today's Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, this is Father Pat with coffee and rosaries, saying now more than ever to love one another as God loves you.